Good day, everyone. How are you doing today? It's Double Daddy here from TokenPathways.com. Happy Father's Day. It's June 15th, 2025. Here's a look at the crypto prices today. While we have a quick scroll and see mostly green prices, don't forget to hit a like and subscribe wherever you're viewing this. And if you want to head over to the website, that'd be cool too. We'd love to engage with you, hear about what you want to hear about. But until that happens, we're going to keep bringing you awesome news articles. Starting with Bitcoin price prepares for volatility as spot supply vanishes. This is an article from Cointelegraph, and in it cites that on-chain data shows a steady depletion of exchange and OTC balances, pointing to a long-term accumulation and tightening supply strategy. When BTC open interest nears record highs and with BTC open interest near record highs and liquidity drying up, the market is tightly coiled, raising the probability of a sharp move. So at the time of this video, Bitcoin's at $105,000, $535. The price has consistently risen over time. Yes, it has. So we're going to have a look at how since the beginning of the year, Bitcoin on exchanges has dropped approximately 14% down to just 2.5 million BTC, a level not seen since August 2022. It's important to stop and realize that just because there's 2.5 million BTC available on these exchanges doesn't mean that they're all available for sale, or at least available to you. Because a lot of folks will just keep their crypto on exchanges and use the exchange as a wallet. Now, it's not a very good strategy, but it happens. And we need to assume at some level, or at least some percentage of these tokens are sitting there illiquid for that purpose. And I think that it's a fair assessment to assume that up to half of those qualify in that category. So if we have 2.5 million BTC on exchanges, then really, in my opinion, there's only 1.25 million available. OTC trading desks are also drying up. Now, there's a lot of interesting observations in these paragraphs. However, it's worth noting that approximately 134,000 BTC are available in these one-hop addresses connecting mining pools. So these are the addresses that people are assuming are being coordinated with sales on behalf of the miners. And that makes sense. If I was mining, I would rather send to an OTC desk myself. So we've got OTC liquidity drying up. We've got exchange liquidity drying up. And when that happens, supply and demand dynamics are going to kick in. Price go up when chasing an increasingly scarce asset. So this article goes on to state that funding rates slip into negative territory. Now, in an accumulation phase, this is a rare occurrence. And it's worth noting that in this cycle, that this pattern has appeared 3 times, possibly 4. And to find a negatively funded occurrence with accumulation happening, it's almost like a black sheep. It's a rare occurrence. And to see something like that, I think it needs to cause all of us to open up our eyes and see what's happening. 1.25 million Bitcoin available on exchanges, but the United States wants 1 million? MicroStrategy wants 1 million? Lots of companies want this Bitcoin, and it's not necessarily available. So it sounds like in this article, it states that Bitcoin may seem quiet at the moment because of those negative funding rates. But any growing mismatch between heavy use and spot demand is going to force price dislocation. And realistically, it can only go higher. If the supply is shriveling, then the golden event that's probably going to happen, what the God candle, I think they call it, is going to happen. And we're going to see an epidemic of price discovery. So let's move on to talk about how Tether. This isn't Tether at all. Interesting. Let's not talk about Tether today. Let's talk about how we've got a crypto roundup here from a few days ago, but there's a few things in this article I want to highlight. We've got the XRP Ledger set to launch an Ethereum-compatible sidechain. And the reason that this is important, I'll get to it after we're done looking at the highlights, but CTO David Schwartz announced at the Apex 2025 event in Singapore that XRPL's low-cost transactions are going to get merged with Ethereum's smart contract capabilities, leveraging the EVM OS stack. So Ripple and PeerSys are working on this sidechain, and it's already live on the testnet. The upcoming mainnet launch will follow further testing and validator partnerships, which is excellent to see, because the XRP Ledger, it does support native smart contracts. However, it's not currently designed to support Ethereum smart contracts. So getting this network to run in parallel to support the EVM is a big deal. We're linking the number 2 and the number 3 blockchains here. Axelar will serve as the exclusive bridge for moving assets between XRPL and the sidechain, with Wrapped XRP used as the native gas token. It's nice to see something other than Ether being used as a gas token as well. So, circling back to what we were talking about pre-highlight here, XRP, or rather Ripple, they're in the business of stablecoin transfer. They're in this business of transferring stable units behind the scenes, or not even behind the scenes. They're in the business of stable money transfer. Fast, quick, reliable, and they're going to eventually hand out a pink slip to Swift, in my opinion. But the goal here is stablecoin operability and interoperability. So to find this company linking itself to other chains, acknowledging that not only other chains exist, but they can work in concert with them to support their main core business of moving stable units of currency quickly. So once again, this is maybe news that needs to be reported on bigger. I believe we touched on this in the space the other day. And you know what? If we come back to it once a week, I'm fine with it. We're not going to. But XRP and Ethereum, on behalf of XRP, are working together. PeerSys with the assist, Axelar with the assist. But this is a big deal. And I'm happy to share it with you. So the other part of this article that is worth having a chat about is Stripe, doubling down on crypto project acquisition spree. They've acquired the crypto wallet infrastructure firm Privy for an undisclosed sum as part of its broader push into the digital asset space. Now, I remember Stripe entering the space years ago, several years ago. So to see a sustained push into the digital asset space from this company is nice to see. They're a major player in the payment processing space, and it only makes logical sense for them to move forward in the digital processing space. So the deal follows Stripe's recent $1.1 billion acquisition of stablecoin platform Bridge and its launch of a stablecoin-based money management tool. Privy claims to power over 75 million accounts. They also claim that they help developers embed secure, user-friendly, and multi-chain crypto wallets into their apps while abstracting away from some of the complexities, including seed phrases and gas accounting systems. So they're dumbing down wallet usage for the layperson, and I'm a big fan of that. Anything that makes things easier to use for more people that don't understand things they don't need to understand is a very good decision. So, this was probably a rider on Privy's end, but Privy will remain an independent product under Stripe, aiming to scale faster while continuing to serve platforms like OpenSea, Farcaster, and Hyperliquid. So again, this is another product inside Stripe's stable of products that's going to continue to operate the way it's supposed to operate, but it's going to add to Stripe's portfolio. And now that they're all under the same umbrella, they can work together and increase their adoption and increase their levels of innovation. So big news. Stripe is a company that I think is worth a look at. And maybe Privy is now something to have a look at as well, because user innovation is something that is often overlooked in the space. So, two big things in this roundup. Very nice article on behalf of The Block. But let's head over to... You know what? I think we're done for the day. Let's just have a quick chat and say that we're seeing inflows head back into BTC ETFs. We're seeing Ethereum ETFs continuing to receive inflows. It's just a great time to be in the crypto market. Now, we are in a bull market. It's a funny looking bull market. I won't really jump into why I think that is this video. However, I will say that when Charles Hoskinson, the lead developer of the Cardano ecosystem, comes out and says, maybe we should start blending stablecoins and Bitcoin into our treasury and sell some of our Cardano tokens to do so, I think that we need to have a look at the type of companies that are making Bitcoin treasuries and assess them as to whether or not they need to have Bitcoin treasuries. Because if we can create our own crypto tokens and then validate those tokens by creating treasuries with more stable assets, then that changes the game a little bit. However, the main focus of this article and this video has to do with product-based adoption when it comes to Bitcoin and their ecosystems, instead of just token-based adoption. So I think it's important to assess when you hear treasuries are being created, who's creating them and why. Consider the source. I very much enjoy seeing XRP treasuries being created. I enjoy seeing Ethereum treasuries being created and Bitcoin treasuries being created. I think that we're going to see baskets of these cryptos along with stablecoins, leading to the standard treasury allotment in the future. So this is something that I think we could discuss more. But for today, I think that it's important that we acknowledge what's happened in these acquisitions and the progress that's happening when it comes to on-chain adoption and on-chain collaboration. So I think I'm done spitting $5 words at you today. Normally my goal is to dumb this down for you, but this is big stuff and it's important to have it covered appropriately. So on that note, this video has been brought to you by Double Daddy and the fine folks at tokenpathways.com. Head over to visit us at YouTube, TikTok, the website, X, Discord, wherever you are viewing this video. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to go out and be your very best self. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching.